Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know, my name is Faith, and thank you so much for watching. Today, I'm going to be telling you guys about some really popular books that I just refuse to read. And before we get into anything, I would just like to say these are just my opinions. If you read them and you liked them, I'm not judging you. Good for you. Congrats on liking a book. If you think they're that good and I should read them, then feel free to try and convince me to read them in the comments. We're starting strong. Haunting Adeline and Hunting Adeline. I feel that this one is self-explanatory. The entire premise of it is just not something that I want to read about. I've heard that in the first one there is a scene where he does very unconsensual bad things to her, and that is just not something that I want to read about. In my mind, I don't want to romanticize that. And then we have Credence. I'm just not into incest. What can I say? I actually don't know for sure if that's what it is, because I don't know if they're actually related. Because to my understanding, it's this girl goes to stay at her uncle's house, and then she forms a relationship with her uncle, and then like 2 or 3 of her cousins. I don't know if they're blood related or if it's like step uncle and step cousins. I don't know. Either way, I just gotta say that's not for me. I don't know if Credence is considered dark romance or what, but while I'm not opposed to reading dark romance, those are ones that I just don't want to touch at all. So moving on from that genre, I also refuse to read, I think it's pronounced Caraval. I read the Once Upon a Broken Heart series and it wasn't bad, but I definitely didn't like it enough to read another series by her. I also realized after I read that everyone was saying you need to read Caraval first, because I guess there's tie-ins or something. I'm not sure. I think if I was still in middle school or even high school, I would have liked Once Upon a Broken Heart better and probably would be open to reading Caraval, but I've just already read 3 of her books and didn't like them enough to read anymore. And then we have Lightlark. When I first heard about it, she kept saying it's already been given a picture deal by Universal, which congratulations to her. First of all, that's a big accomplishment, but that was a long time ago. And I haven't heard any updates about that. And the typical turnaround time for a feature-length film is 5 years from the start of pre-production to the end of post-production. So I'm not sure if that like fell through. The fact that that's how she was marketing at first and there's still no progress on that, to my knowledge, is what kind of turned me off from it. Even though, like I said, congratulations to her. That's huge accomplishment. Another reason is because I saw one little snippet from the book. The snippet was like literally 1 page at the beginning of a chapter. The main character was chasing someone, but then it was like she was running as if she was running from something. And that doesn't make any sense. If you're chasing someone, you're not running as if you're running away. And I know I probably should give it more of a chance than just 1 page, but that was enough to be like, what the heck? Absolutely not. I'm not sure if this next one is YA or adult, but One Dark Window. I'm gonna be honest, there's no reason that I don't want to read this book other than I don't like the cover. I 100% judge a book by its cover, and if I don't like the cover, I won't pick it up. I saw this book in stores, never felt drawn to it at all. I haven't really heard anyone describe what it's about, so I don't really know. I think it's like vampires or paranormal or something. I'm not even 100% sure. I don't like the cover at all. Maybe one day if I hear something that's like actually so enticing. Until then, no, I don't want that book on my shelf. Another book that I 100% won't read because of the cover is Heartless Hunter. I just don't like the cover at all. No offense to the cover artist. It's just weird. I think it's a moth. I don't like it. I don't like bugs. First of all, absolutely not. I do not like bugs. I don't do bugs. So I don't want a book on my shelf that's just a big bug on the cover. And if one of you come for me, it's a moth's not a bug. I don't know, because there's like insects, bugs, arachnids. I don't know what it is. I'm just gonna call it a bug. I don't like it. I feel like I know nothing about the story from that. I just don't like the cover. And then we have A Little Life. I just don't want to read this. I actually went to the store and saw it one time and was gonna like read the description, but then I picked it up and it's a big book, and I have heard that most of it is boring until you get to the end, and then the end is like devastating. I don't know why, I don't know what happens, but I don't want to read that long of a book to be bored 90% of it and then only feel an emotional impact the last little bit. I might read it if it was shorter, like 300 pages or less, but just because of how long it is and that I've heard it's mostly boring, I don't want to read that. And the last book that I just refuse to read is a newer book, and you might have heard of it because it has sparked a lot of controversy in the past week or so. Silver Elite. I hadn't even heard of this book until about a week into May, and then every single time I go on Instagram I get at least 1 or 2 ads for it, and at that point I hadn't heard anyone talk about it, so all I saw of this book was the ads. It felt like I was being smothered with the ads for this book, and it was described as Katniss for adults. adults. I love The Hunger Games. It's easily one of the best series I've ever read. Adults can read The Hunger Games. So I was like, I guess this just means a spicy level. I don't know. I don't know if the book has spice. It has sparked a lot of controversy because the author's name is a pen name, so she's not going by her real name, she or he. But then the publishing company is apparently saying this is a really popular author. So people are like, well, if it's a really popular author, why are they not writing under their actual name? So a lot of people are like, it's probably an author who has been canceled or something, and they just don't want to be associated with that name now because they think if they use that name, people won't read it. But the reason that I refuse to read this book is because I saw a video on Instagram and the creator was describing a scene in the book where the characters are being evaluated, and I guess the people doing the evaluations aren't paying attention to the main character. So she aims her weapon at the shed that they're all standing by and hits like right in the middle of them, I guess. So I commented on this post and said that reminds me of the scene in The Hunger Games when Katniss is being scored before the games and they're not paying attention to her, so she aims and hits the pig. That is all I said. I did not critique this book. I simply said it reminds me of The Hunger Games and explained the scene that it reminded me of. And then the next day I saw a post of another creator critiquing the book, and I was going to mention that, oh, I saw this creator describe this scene and it reminds me of this scene. So I went back to the video that I commented on and she had deleted my comment. Again, did not critique the book, simply pointed out that it reminded me of a scene from The Hunger Games and described the scene. And I also noticed that when I had commented, there were about 30 to 40 comments, I think, and then when I went back, there were only 14. So she deleted multiple people's comments, and the only comments left were people praising the book. So then I went back to this creator's page and commented saying, oh, well, I refuse to read this book because I commented this on a post that described a scene and she deleted my comment, so now I don't trust anyone that says it's good. And then someone replied to me and said, there's a scene where their dictator president gives a speech that is word for word a speech that President Snow gives, except they changed the word hope to ideas or something like that. And so I commented and I was like, dude, the fact that that's not even the scene that I'm talking about. So there's at least 2 scenes in this book that are basically copy and paste from The Hunger Games. And then she asked what scene I was talking about. So I told her I went back to this creator's profile because I was going to make sure that I was describing the scene right. And she had taken down every single video talking about this book. And I never tagged this person, so it's not like people saw my comment and then rushed to her page to hate or anything. I don't know why she deleted the videos. I'm not going to tell you who this creator was, but that just felt weird to me. And just in case it is an author who's done bad enough things to where they can't make a book with their name anymore, I don't really want to support that. If you read it and you liked it, happy for you. Like, no judgment. Everyone can read their own things. I just don't want to read it. That whole thing just weirded me out. There's definitely more books that I just don't really plan on reading ever, but those are the ones that stick out to me. Shorter video this week after I've had some long ones the past few weeks. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to like and subscribe and follow my Instagram for more bookish content. And I hope you all have a fantastic summer. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Love you guys. Bye.